Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. I today am continuing my series about some of my favorite nail polishes, and in this case it's Fancy Gloss. So one of my favorite indie nail polish brands, specifically a few of their jelly polishes that they have. Now, the funny thing about this is I know that this video is called like my favorite Fancy Gloss jellies, but real talk, it could probably technically be called my only Fancy Gloss jellies, because I only have three of their jelly polishes, mainly because, when I first heard about Fancy Gloss, I mainly heard about them for their thermal polishes, for their magnetic toppers, for their like flake polishes. I hadn't really heard much about their jellies. And during that time, I was starting to build up my jelly collection with polishes from other brands, and so I didn't really want to dupe myself. So that's why I only have three from them at the moment. But on the day that I am filming this, it is the 25th of May. This is at the beginning of the week before they are reopening their, not reopening, but like restocking their shop for their May sale. So that's going to happen on Friday, May 29th. And that's a big part of why I wanted to film this video, so that if any of you are considering shopping with them, you'll be able to have this video to give you some ideas for what these jellies are like. Full disclosure though, so as always, just to put out there, this video is not sponsored by Fancy Gloss. I'm not affiliated with them. I just really enjoy using their polishes and love them, and so that's why that's where this video is coming from. I also don't yet know which exactly which polishes will be included in their May restock. So while it's the case that I'm gonna be showing you all three of their jellies that I personally own, I can't say for sure if these jellies are going to be included for the May restock. So with all that being said, I guess the next thing is, how is this video going to be structured? So for each of the three jellies, I'm gonna show you how they look in 1, 2, and 3 coats. Then I'm going to show you how you can possibly use it together with a topper to create a jelly sandwich. And then after that, I'm going to show you an example of how you can use the jelly to like provide a tint over another polish. Like, this is something I've often talked about that I do with my manicures, where when it's the case that I have a polish and I'm like, it is so close to being the color that I want, but it's like not quite it. That is really one of the best uses, I think, for jelly polishes, that you can use it to modify the color of something. And yeah, I had a lot of fun picking out the examples for that, and I can't wait to show you all that. And yeah, so I think that's all for the intro. So let's go ahead and get jelly, whatever that means.
As always, I'd like to begin by showing you what's on my nails today. I'm, as you could see in the intro, wearing this kind of like green tropical looking dress with some pops of color, and so I decided to do a skittle that was like that. So I've got 3 different colors going on here with a topper. So the darker green is from Cracked Berry Juniper. The lighter one, like that, is also from Crack Dappled Willow. And then for the pink magenta one, I started with a magenta, like a pink cream polish that is like this color here, but I just didn't quite like this color fully against my skin. Like, it's okay, but I just felt like I wanted to try to push it to be a little bit deeper. And so that's when I brought in Emily Damali's Sheer Tint Mulberry to deepen it a bit, which is very similar to what we're going to be doing today with the Fancy Fancy Gloss jellies. So let me actually use my thumb here. So if you see kind of like that before and after there, this is really like what you can do with a jelly polish to just put like a wash of color on there and shift it in a way. So it's like, you know, it's like magic, I feel like. And so then that brings me to the topper that I've got here. It started with this polish from Rogue Lacquer called Disney Adult. So fun story, my husband Jack is a proud Disney adult, and this is something he did not at all reveal to me until after we were married, even though he knew beforehand. It wasn't like he was keeping it from me. He was just like, it never came up. And then, you know, we were planning our first trip to Disney World, and I was just thinking, okay, you know, we'll check out the tickets, we'll figure out which rides we're gonna go on. Y'all, this man, like, just you give him a Disney trip and I don't have to do anything. I just show up, look cute, and, you know, go on roller coasters. But he does all the planning of like the lightning lanes, the genie, I don't know. So he is a Disney adult. Love him for that. But with this polish, when I got it, I was just like, the flakes in here are just a little bit too densely packed for me. And it's not immediately obvious from looking in from the outside, but this is in a clear base. And so when I saw that, I thought, what I can do is something I've been doing a lot lately with some reflective glitters, but this is the first time I think I've done it with a flake polish. I basically took some suspension base and then dropped in just a little bit of Disney Adult and mixed it all up until I got the right consistency that I wanted. And so you can see like the before and after here, before on the left, after on the right. And so what's great about this is that I still get to enjoy the full blend of all of these flakes that are in here, but in a way that is much more balanced to the density that I prefer. And I think it's just a really nice like pop of like speckles here. It's like, you know, you get the black flakes, but there's also these iridescent ones mixed in there. So yeah, that's what's on my nails today. I really like how this manicure turned out. The first jelly from Fancy Gloss that I want to show you is blueberry jelly. To do a quick bottle comparison for you against some of the other blue jellies that I know I've shown in my videos before, I'm going to put Fancy Gloss blueberry jelly in the middle. We've also got let me turn this around here. There we go. Blank Beauty blueberry jam over here. And then Cirque Colors Cobalt Jelly on the right. I think that, you know, do I need to have 3 different blue jellies in my collection? I mean, I do like having, I do love the color blue, and I can tell you that all 3 of these are different colors. Blueberry Jam on the left is the deepest one of these 3. Blueberry Jelly from Fancy Gloss sits in the middle, and then Cobalt Jelly from Cirque on the right is by far the brightest one that's there. So let's go ahead and start swatching this out in a few coats. Okay. I always have so much fun like planning these videos out, and then it all comes together, and so anyway, with jellies, one of the things that I always want to point out and make note of would be the formula and the consistency of it. Somehow I got a bubble in there. I mean, I don't want to cause any streakiness and like mess that up, because other than the bubble, it's looking really nice. So I'm just going to leave the bubble there. But from this first coat that I'm going to be doing across here, you can see just how beautiful of a blue this is here. And it's, you know, with jellies, I think, especially if you're trying to use them for some of these purposes that I've been talking about, like wanting to use it as a wash of sheer, of like a semi-sheer color, you want to be able to see that it's blue. but you don't want it to be so opaque and milky that you can't see through to what is underneath. And these other two swatches down here, we'll get to those in just a second. Okay. Okay, this is, oh, that is just so beautiful. Like, okay, the bubble, we're just gonna deal with the bubble. The bubble is here. The bubble is staying, I guess, if it really wants to. Yeah, I always like to do the like creepy finger behind the swatches to show you all just how sheer this is. And yeah, I really like this shade of blue. And also looking at the formula here, just how like, that is an excellent jelly formula, not streaky at all. Even in one coat, I know some times jelly polishes from brands can sometimes be tricky in the first coat because you're like, it's a little streaky, but I'm gonna build it up, so it's fine. But like this, knowing if you wanted just the one coat, you would be fine with that. That I think is excellent. So gonna continue on and build up the second coat. Oh, this blue is just making me think of a pool or something like that. Like summer is coming and I just cannot wait to like go to water parks and just go in a wave pool, like all those fun summer things. Okay. So this fourth swatch over here is going to be the one where I am going to put down 2 coats initially and have that be for our jelly sandwich. And while those are drying, I think, well, actually, let's talk about the second coat over here real quick. So right now, I want you to focus on comparing these two here, the 1 and the 2 coats. That, I think, it's really good because we are seeing like more saturation here with the second coat. That is another thing that's important to me, and that I don't want it to be the case that a jelly is so sheer that I have to use like 5 or 6 coats to get some kind of color payoff. This, in my opinion, is looking really good. So let's go over to these 2 swatches for a moment. This is where I wanted to talk about how jellies can be used for the purpose of adding a little bit of a color tint. And the color or the polish that I decided to use for this from my collection is Chameleon Nails Dolphin. My husband and I have this inside joke that I don't remember why this became an inside joke with us, but early on in our stages of dating, we were talking about like animal sounds, and I was like, you know, a dolphin goes meow, and he's like, no, what? And I know a dolphin doesn't make that sound, but to this day, whenever it's the case that we see a dolphin somewhere, I say that like, you know, we're driving down the street and we see a dolphin, but like whenever a dolphin is somewhere, we're like, oh yeah, let's talk to it. Anyway, this is a thermal polish. So what I'm gonna do is probably put up in the corner there like a photo, probably not mine, but somewhere from the internet to show you like how this looks as a thermal. I haven't really worn this a whole lot lately. I think it still transitions. It goes from like this very almost clear color but super light blue to a deeper, more saturated blue in the cold state. But you know, for times when it would be mainly in the warm state, I just don't really like that shade of blue on me. Like it makes me look kind of like kind of sick and pale and washed out. So what I'm gonna do is keep this one on the left as it is as like our control swatch, and then show you how it looks when I put a coat of blueberry jelly over the second one here. Now, when you do this, I really want to remind you that while adding on a coat of jelly can give you excellent results like what you're seeing here, do keep in mind that you don't want to overwork it especially if you're doing this over something like a cream or another jelly or acrylic where your brush strokes might be more visible. And you also want to remember that less is more, and that use what you already have on the nail first, spread it around to the extent that you're able to before you go back and try to bring more polish in, because then the more of this jelly polish that you add onto this, the more saturated that it's going to become, and that might not be the depth of level of color that you're looking for. So yeah, this is like the before and after, and now that is more me. This to me is like I am Elsa in my snow castle, casting out like ice lightning bolts at people and stuff. Let it go. It's like that. And I think that depending on, like, I forget exactly how deep that cold state blue goes, I'm okay with how this looks either way, even if it's the case that like I'm kind of covering up that other blue. This has made it into a color of polish that now I feel really excited about wearing, as opposed to this color before. Okay, so now that this has dried a bit, let's go and I think I'm actually going to first put down our topper over here. And the one that I'm going to use here is actually a Fancy Gloss topper. This is their Yellow Stars topper. They have this in so many other colors. Like I also have it in white, I have it in black, I think I have it in pink, maybe teal too. So yeah, if you're looking for some fun, cute toppers, check these out. But again, same disclaimer goes, I'm not sure which toppers from Fancy Gloss will be put back in stock for their upcoming restock. So with this, a lot of it depends on how you want to spread this out. I feel like something I've learned with using these stars toppers is that if you overdo it, you can end up putting way too much suspension base onto the nail, and then that will cause you to have like a more gloopy effect that you kind of don't want. So I'm just going to call this art for now. Let that dry a bit. And now we're going to go in for the third coat of just our regular nail swatches. Yeah, something that I'm almost certainly going to edit out of this final video was just a few seconds ago, there was like a fly that landed on the swatch wheel just as I was in the middle of talking, and I'm like, how dare you? I may have done a little like, eek. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I cut out when I do my edits. Yeah, so this is how it looks with the jump up from 1, 2, and 3 coats. Just very beautiful the whole way through. And the last thing I want to do now is just seal up this jelly sandwich. And as I was preparing for this video and trying to figure out like which toppers and stuff I wanted to pair together, I thought with this one, like, okay, well, blue and yellow is green. I don't want this to end up looking too like swampy or what, but this reminds me of a pool, and in just the best way, and I really adore this. So you can see how this looks, and the 3 coats on its own on the left, and then also technically 3 coats on the right, but with the topper sandwich in there. So yeah, this is blueberry jelly. I'm going to go and put some top coat on all of these, and we'll take a look at these swatches and some other lighting. Next is lemon jelly. which is yellow. I'm like, how do I describe these? It's yellow, it's a jelly, it's lemon jelly. Okay. So I didn't, when I bought this, I did it because I did not already have any yellow jelly polish in my collection. And I, for my neutralizer series, and I explain how I have nails that are yellow stained. I'm like, why would I ever possibly want to, what would I ever do with a yellow jelly if I already have like yellow nails that I'm trying to neutralize, So that's why I think I held off on so long for so long on getting a yellow jelly polish. But you'll see today in just a moment that there actually are some other really good uses for it. Okay. This is another fantastic formula in one coat. I mean, just so smooth, like no problems whatsoever with applying this. And the formula is just incredibly self-leveling. Let's do the finger creep test behind the swatches so that you can see just how sheer this polish is in one coat without it being like milky or anything like that. No complaints here. So let me see, jellies dry down pretty fast, so I'm gonna move on to the second coat. Yeah, this is a I want lemonade right now. Just from looking at this, even though it's called lemon jelly, it's like the yellow, the type of yellow that is like a lemon, but not lemonade, if that makes sense. But I still want lemonade. And this one here is going to be the 2 coats foundation for our jelly sandwich. All right. So while these swatches are drying, let's go on to our next tint experiment. This one, I'm just gonna get into it. So Blank Beauty is a brand I always love shopping with, and I often will get like a mystery polish from them. And one of my orders included this mystery polish, which I was just like, okay. It's yellow, but this is definitely not my shade of yellow. It just, I did not know what to do with this. I filed it away in my organizer of polishes together with the yellows, and just thought maybe someday I will have a need for it. And today is that day. So what I've done here is that I have on each of these nails put down 2 swatches of that mystery polish. And I mean, like, you see, it's not the worst, but it's not my preferred shade of yellow. This, I have been so excited to show y'all this. All right. So once again, when you are doing this over something like a cream, a crelly, or a jelly where you don't have like the benefit of additional visual texture like glitter or flakes to kind of mask any kind of like leveling issues that you might have as you're doing your application, you want to be very cautious and intentional as you do this, but the result is just so worth it here. Okay, just gonna smooth that out just a little bit more. Okay, y'all, look at that. Like night and day. Now that is the kind of yellow I would wear. You see, just like before and after it, I now cannot wait to wear this shade of yellow. And okay, so something else that gets me really excited about this is that often I know that it can be difficult to find a market for destashing cream polishes. Like, people just, from what I've seen, don't really often buy those in destash listings. So then it becomes a case of like, well, if there's a cream polish that you've got in your collection and you're trying to figure out, well, if I'm kind of stuck with this, what can I do with it? I really do encourage you, if you are looking to pick up some jelly polishes, or if you already do have some jelly polishes in your collection, see if you might be able to combine them together with some of those creams to have this kind of like makeover. So I'm also going to prepare this swatch with a topper. I've decided to use Holo Taco's Black Flake Taco. And here we go. Yeah, my high school's colors were black and gold, so this kind of is like, if I had been into nail polish back when I was in high school, what this is going to turn out to be is like totally the kind of manicure I would have worn back then. So we're going to let that sit and dry for just a moment, and then go to put down the third coat here. Yeah, this one builds up so nicely across the three different coats. You can see just how saturated that becomes from where we started with the one. And when you look at just the one, the coat of the one, the swatch of the one coat rather, it's amazing to see how something that is this sheer and this like lightly tinted can have this much of an impact as to changing how that polish looks. I mean, I'm just speechless from this. So let me finish up with our putting this on top of our jelly sandwich. Now here, because these flakes are black, it's not like you have to worry about them becoming tinted or anything like that. If anything, I think that if you are trying to use a kind of topper like this together with a jelly, you could get the same or a similar kind of result if you were to do 3 coats of the jelly and then put on the black flake topper. But my personal preference is to do the 2 coats first, then the flake topper, and then seal it up with another coat of the jelly, because like if I show you from an angle here, it's hard to see on camera, but like it just makes it so that those flakes appear to be more embedded within the jelly as opposed to sitting on top of it. It's very subtle. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but trust me when I say, when you see a nail in person, it does make a difference. So yeah, I really love this jelly and the ways that you can use it. So let's see it in some other lighting with top coat. The final jelly for this video is orange jelly. Take a guess as to what color that is. Yeah, okay, it's orange. So I know I talk a lot about how I often don't wear orange nail polish, but I'm starting to like orange a little bit more now that I am getting a better sense of how it can work with my particular like skin tone, undertones, all that stuff. So let me start swatching this out here. And you know, also on that topic of jellies being useful for tinting purposes, that made me curious as to like, okay, how could I potentially use this jelly together with some of the oranges in my collection? And as I was planning this video, I just went out on a leap and thought, let me try this one as the one that I'm going to tint and see what happens. And y'all, I am so excited to show you all how that is going to look. Okay, so once again, very consistent formula. I think here with that one, it's building up a little bit more quickly because I think I didn't dip my brush all the way back in the bottle, and that's why I had to double dip. But it should be fine because we're gonna put some more on top of that one anyway. Okay. So here we are, and with one coat over here. Yeah, excellent formula. You know, let's do the finger test. Yeah, you know, what we're looking for is just seeing, like, can we clearly see through this? Is it looking milky? Or can we see through it but also still get some color payoff? Like, can we tell that this is orange compared to like yellow? And I would say yes, even in just one coat, there is a clear distinction between orange jelly and lemon jelly. So if you were looking at this jelly as one to add to your collection, do know that, yeah, it is orange. So let's go and do the second coat. Okay, so y'all remember like a few minutes ago when I was saying I want lemonade because I was doing lemon jelly? Guess who wants orange juice now? Like, no joke, like I'm kind of bummed that I don't have any orange juice in the house. I'm gonna have to get some. What? No, wait, do I want orange juice? Like, this isn't the color of orange juice though. This is the color of like the high C orange drink that you get at McDonald's. Okay, that is what we're looking at here. Anyway, we've got our one coat and two coat here. Yeah, with the move up to two coats, I can definitely see how it's becoming even more just vibrant orange. And yeah, even with two coats, we can still see through here really well. Now let's go over to our tinting experiment. This is from Atomic Polish. It's a very vibrant cream called Kinsei. It's sort of like a bleached orange, pinkish orange neon cream that, like, against my skin, it's fine. I think ever since I got into like shimmer toppers, I don't recall the last time that I've ever worn Kinsei on its own without some kind of shimmer topper over it. But I thought, well, let's see, like, it's kind of orange. Like, I store Kinsei together with my orange polishes. Let's just see how this might work if I put orange jelly on top of it. Y'all, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm just gonna swatch this and just be real happy in the moment, because what is that? Like, that is just so beautiful. Now, what I'm seeing here is that by adding orange jelly over this, it has tinted it and moved it away from the pink orange into full-on orange territory. Over here, I think where Kinsei on its own doesn't fully play up well against my skin tone is that pink nature of it just, I don't know, doesn't really do it for me. But then if I go to just like full on bright orange, now we're talking. Now that's a different story. And I mean, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but y'all, I love having staples like this in my collection. Staples like toppers and jellies that you can use together to just create so many different things. And now I don't need to go out and get a separate orange cream that's this shade of orange, because I can already make it by using components that I already have. And my cream polishes get to have a little bit more use and a little bit more love, because now I'm like, what else can I do with them? And like, maybe I can like get a different what other creams do I have that I might want to try to tint in a different way. Okay, so I'm gonna put down a topper. This is another one from Fancy Gloss. Now we've got black mini stars. So in case you're wondering, and actually let me bring the yellow one back over here, because I think the yellow one is just yellow stars and the black one is an example of the mini ones. Now it says mini, but in my opinion, there's really not a whole lot of size difference between these. I'm just gonna brush off the liquid here so it doesn't drip. Okay, so let me rotate this so that you can see better. Yeah, so that's the difference between the size of the stars there. It's, you know, it's not like you've got like these really big chunky stars on the left and little teeny tiny ones on the right. Where I think that you could get a really interesting manicure would be if you want to do a jelly sandwich with multiple, like with both of these on the same one. And why don't I do that? Okay, hold up. I was not planning on doing this, but I'm gonna do it now anyway. Okay, so a little bit of variety here. So I'm just gonna put on a little bit of the yellow. So I think what can be so interesting, that's very much like when you're using a glitter topper, when you have glitters that are different sizes, it can just give you a lot more visual interest that isn't present when it's just all the one. You know, very similar to when you are working with a flake topper like this. One of the things I love about using flake toppers is when you have this kind of size and shape variety. Now I'm just gonna brush on like a little bit of, let's see, oh yes, okay. There we go. This is happening. Now, these, it can take a little bit of finessing to get used to manipulating the stars in a way where they're not all just clumped up together. But you know, considering I did not plan to do it this way, I was just planning to put the black ones on here and not the black and yellow. I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. So now we're gonna put on the third coat of orange jelly. I cannot stop looking at that like Kinsey plus orange jelly swatch. Like, oh, that is so nice. Okay, so I'm mentioned I'm speaking at this event in New York in a couple weeks, representing my company and being like on the expo floor, giving a presentation and everything. And one of my company's main colors is orange, and so I've been spending some time going through my nail polish collection to see like, okay, which orange polish do I want to wear? Because I'm going to be wearing like a company t-shirt that's got orange on it and I want to be coordinating. I don't know, this might be it. Like, maybe put like a gold shimmer topper over that too, to maybe kind of tone it down just a little bit, but still have that like bam orange. I don't know, but I really like this. Okay, and just one final sealing up of our jelly sandwich. Yeah, and same thing here that I mentioned with the jelly sandwich before, that yeah, you could technically do the 3 coats of the jelly and then put all the toppers on top of that, but there's just something about seeing it encapsulated like that. And I think it's quite impressive that even with us having yellow stars in there, I can still see that yellow very clearly. Like the orange is there and it's present, but it's not so strong and overbearing that I'm like, I want my orange, but I also want to still see yellow. So this could be a really cute look for Halloween. Just like put some like purple glitter in there too, make it extra like witchy. Anyway, I'm just like planning out so many future manicures here, but seriously, that is one of the most fun and enjoyable things for me about this process of playing with the polishes that I already own and seeing how I can combine them in different ways, and then thinking, well, if I am wanting to get some more polishes to bring into my collection, let me maybe prioritize ones like jellies and toppers that can give me more versatility to mix and match and do things with like this. So yeah, gonna put on some top coat, see this in other lighting, and then we'll get wrapped up.
So these were my 3 favorite slash only jelly polishes from Fancy Gloss. I hope that this video has helped you to get a sense of how the Fancy Gloss jelly formula is if you are thinking of buying some from them. I've got to say that, like, I mean, I know I only have 3 of their jellies, but I was very impressed with how consistent the formula was from one jelly to the next. I know often what can happen with some nail polish brands is that not all of their jellies will have the exact same consistency. So you have to do a little bit more research to figure out like which one is going to be more sheer, which ones are more milky, and so on. All of these 3 to me performed exactly the same, the only difference being their color. And yeah, let me know in the comments if any of you are looking to pick up any jellies or other polishes from Fancy Gloss. And I believe I mentioned this also in my Fancy Gloss magnetics video. I'm like, which video was that? If you are someone who has like, if you already have some polishes from Fancy Gloss that you might want to recommend to other viewers who are newer to the brand, please share your recommendations in the comments here. I know that when you're newer to a brand, it can be tough to try to go through all the different options and see what's out there. So yeah, that would be much appreciated if any of you want to share your recommendations. And again, I've got to say, like, as someone who does not often like having visible nail line, this yellow one in the middle there with the black flakes, I'm like, I'm gonna have to try that at some point. I'll see how it goes on my regular nails, but what I might do is put down like a blurring base coat first and then build it up on top of that. But we'll see. You know, these videos and these like layering experiments just always make me so happy because it truly feels like I am discovering gold when I come across a way to use polishes from my collection that I hadn't even considered before. It was like this polish was sitting over here, this other polish was sitting over there, and they just weren't talking to each other, but now they are, and that makes a beautiful manicure. So with all of that being said, happy shopping once the Fancy Gloss restock has happened later this week on the 29th. As always, thank y'all so much for being here on this channel and as part of this community. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.